and welcome back to We Need to Talk About the podcast. It's been a while. I'm sorry about that. We'll get into that in a little bit, why it's been a little bit of a while. But this is your one-stop podcast for all things film and music. And as you can see, we're doing it a different format today. I just thought I'd change things up a bit, see how this went, and then if it goes well, hopefully, from now on, this is how we will be doing the podcasts. As you can see, I'm joined today by Adam McClure from Amplify Across and Rough Draft Media. Say hi, Adam.
Hi.
Hi, Adam. The two Adams.
I know, Adam squared.
Adam squared. Today, we will be talking about 20 albums you, yes, you, needs to listen to. Not you, because you listen to most of them, but you, back home, you, needs to listen to before you die. So we'll be counting down from 10 to 1, both be given our options. And then, yeah, just stick around, find out what's going to be number one. Anyway, transition music time. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it, yes.
I'll start, and then, yeah.
I'll sit and nod along.
Yeah. So, for my number 10, I've got Rubber Soul from the Beatles. It's my favourite Beatles album. I've not heard many people who say it's their favourite Beatles album. But I just think it's like their magnum opus. It's just as like they started with the drug stuff, but not too heavy on the drug stuff. It's just really chill music. Some of my favourite songs on it are In My Life, Nowhere Man, and Drive My Car. In My Life is actually my favourite Beatles song. It's also my mum's favourite Beatles song. And yeah, I can play it on ukulele as well. But yeah, what do you think to Rubber Soul, Adam?
It's a good album, but I'm going to be honest, like, the Beatles are not in my listening very much.
Boo.
I respect what they did for music. I respect that they're good songs. Just not something I choose to listen to.
Yeah, I get that. That's fair enough.
Occasionally, maybe, if it gets stuck in my head.
Yeah.
But I'll not turn it off if it comes on, that sort of thing.
Nah, that's fair enough. So what's your number 10 then, Adam?
So my number 10 is Waterpark's Greatest Hits.
Okay, so is that a greatest hits album by Waterparks?
No.
Oh.
Yes. Austin, the lead singer, just was like, "Oh, greatest hits." Named the album. It's his brand new album, so I'm gonna say, like, my standout tracks from it are American Graffiti, named after a movie that George Lucas directed before Star Wars.
Yes, he did. It's a good film.
It's a good film. I watched it. It was actually like, it's not that bad. I thought it was going to be awful, but no, it's pretty good. Snow Globe, which has to be watched with the music video. I'm sorry. Music video in a dark room. That's the only way to do it. And then Violet, with an exclamation mark.
Ooh. Violet!
I'm now deaf.
Sorry, Adam. Sorry, listeners at home.
Yes. I feel sorry for everyone. But those are my sort of top three off that album. It was released in 2021, and I remember literally the lead singer Austin putting on social media being like, "This album's made to listen to in a dark room," and I was like, I'll try it out.
That's just the best way to listen to music, though, in general.
Oh yeah,
like.
But then I was just like, as it dropped at midnight, listening to it as it kicked in, and just being like, "Damn."
Fair enough.
So, moving on, should we go to number 9?
Number 9? Yeah. So, number 9, I've got That's the Spirit by Bring Me the Horizon. Now, Bring Me the Horizon are one of my favourite bands. Like, I'll listen to them non-stop. I've got a tattoo. I've got a lot, like, vinyls and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember discussing your vinyl collection before.
I have a lot of vinyls. Some say too many. I don't.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
No such thing.
No such thing.
But anyway, my favourite 3 songs from That's the Spirit are Drown, Blasphemy, and Throne. Those 3 songs just...
that that to me was the album that got me into heavier music.
Yeah, same pretty much. It was that's what like first got me into heavier music.
Yeah, because it was.
Um,
I don't know if you ever watched NCIS.
no,
It's basically the trailers for the things. They did two trailers, and both trailers were "Bring Me" songs, and I
brilliant.
was just like, that sounds quite cool. And then went and looked into it. And I was like, oh, I know that band. And
Yeah,
then proceeds to go on a deep dive for the next. How many years ago was it now?
that was 2015. I think that came out. So 10. That album's 10 years old.
Yeah,
What? Um,
that's pretty good number nine though.
yeah,
Are these ranked this time,
they're
or are
not
these just net?
necessarily ranked. They're just 20 albums we're throwing at you.
Okay,
Um,
10 each though.
10 each. Yeah,
I think if we
uh,
started going 20 each, I think we'd be here for the
we'd
next.
be here all day.
Oh yeah, and I have to get to work. No offense to you.
um, but yeah, a lot
So
of people say this is where Bring Me like sold out.
nah,
No, they didn't.
they hit their they hit their audience. They hit
Yeah,
like when a band like that can turn around and make music where you're like having the old fans who are into the heavier stuff being like, oh, it's a good album, and people who usually listen to pop, like
yeah,
myself, well, not I didn't listen to pop. Who am I kidding myself? But sort of like
I did.
or pop punk rock sort of stuff that I
Yeah,
listen to, and I was like, oh, this is a good album. But my favorite off that is Oh No. It'll always be Oh
yeah,
No.
okay, yeah, I get that.
That's,
Um, but yeah, a lot of people think because they like messed with genres, they sold out, and it's like no. If you can like, if you can incorporate genres that well, that means you're peaking in your career. Like, it's the best thing that any artist can do is mix genres.
yeah,
And as you can see behind me, two artists that did that a lot and still do that a lot. Um, Linkin Park and 21 Pilots are also two of my favorite bands. So, but yeah, should we get on to your number 9 then?
yeah. My number nine is quite a what dramatic departure from Bring Me the Horizon. It's Snow Patrol. So Northern Irish Scottish band, fantastic. Grew up listening to it, but this is actually the release that was in 2018. This was Wildness,
Hmm.
and this will always be. I remember it coming out because it was their first album in like 8 years, and it was like the first album that came out when I was actually listening to my own music, sort of thing. Like I was listening to my own before, but like still exploring.
Yeah,
Like what 2018, I was still 16, but a while ago now.
it's a good while ago now because
Yeah,
I was 16 then as well.
yeah. So my standout tracks are Empress, Soon, and What If This Is All the Love You'll Ever Get, which is I honestly I went to see Snow Patrol. They put on like a festival in Bangor where they're from in Northern Ireland
Yeah,
in 2019, and just a life changing experience. And this album will always remind me of that because like it was sort of them promoting it,
hmm,
but it's just that when I hearing some of the like those three songs when they performed them live, I was just like blew my mind.
yeah.
Sort of I wanted to do more.
No, that is fair enough. It's a great album, to be fair.
It's a great album.
Great
Like
album.
as a whole piece of work after fans were waiting for 8 years,
Hmm. Yeah.
worth the wait.
But should we move on to number 8?
Yeah, if that's the numbers, it's next.
Yep. So number 8, I've got "Call to the Void" by a band called Hot Milk. They're a bit smaller, but you're pulling a face.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
I might have also put the same one in the same position.
Okay,
Th-
so we can talk about this one together then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what were your top tracks?
So I've got obviously "Bloodstream" because that's the song that really got me into them. It was like I found it on TikTok and I was like, "This slaps.
Mm,
This absolutely slaps." So then I pre-saved the album and was like, "Yeah, let's go." Um, Alice Cooper's Pool House is just is. I think
it's
it is my
bro,
favorite from the album.
Brilliant name.
Great name for a song, and just great song as well. And Migraine as well.
Good songs. Like to me, I think mine would be Breathing Underwater and then Bloodstream. But like I remember, I first discovered this band Hot Milk. Like after they released Awful Ever After. Was it Awful Ever After? It was around that time. It was
Yeah,
like it was Awful Ever After. Take Your Jacket and um, something Do You Feel Alive, whatever it was. I think that might actually be the EP. I can't remember the
yeah,
song, but it's like all those. I was just like, damn, they're really good. Like the fact there's two vocalists and they bounce off each other so
they
well,
do. Yeah,
but how heavy they've got since the start is just insane. And it's like it's good to see though because even their EP before this album was just
yeah. But
what do you call it? I think I hit myself. Was just
see,
I actually thought it. I thought it was on this album, and I went to write it, and I was like, "Ah, well done."
nope.
Nope. Oops.
So I love this band so much that I got a tattoo of their logo.
Yeah,
I know you shouldn't be doing that with bands and artists until they're dead, but I couldn't not.
yeah, yeah. So that was a pretty good eight. The fact that we both put the
Yeah,
same place. Total
that's
coincidence.
it's mad that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's just that's the atoms syncing up.
it's the Adam. Yeah, it's the wavelengths. You
Yeah,
know, it's the Adam born in 2002 wavelength thing. You know, like
yeah. Some other atom born in 2002 out there is thinking, "Yep, Call of the Void is my eighth favorite album."
anyway, should we move on to number 7?
Please. Go
So
for seven.
number 7,
Seven.
my number 7.
Seven.
7 Lens R.I.P. Legend. R.I.P. Legend. Um so my number 7, and my emo is proper coming out now. If it wasn't already before. Um When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by Billie Eilish. Great album. I mean, I think I got into a around about when it came out. I think it was like literally a couple of weeks before the album came out.
Yeah.
Um I proper started getting into her. And yeah, she's just an amazing artist. My favourite songs from the album are 8, which I perform at a lot of open mic nights.
Did you last night?
I didn't play it last night, no.
No.
No, because decided to play some new songs last night that I've
Oh,
never
yeah.
ped in front of a crowd before.
Yeah, so just to sort of say, at the time of this recording, there was an open mic last night that we
Yeah.
both went to. Had good fun.
It was great, yeah.
Yeah.
It's at the Southfield every Thursday. So if you're in Middlesbrough or around Middlesbrough on a Thursday night, you have nothing to do, come down to the Southie. Just
We just go and have a laugh, to be
yeah,
honest. Like,
it's a
I'm
great
not,
laugh. The
I'm not a
hosts are
performer.
always brilliant as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're just amazing. It's a great pub, cheap drinks on a Thursday as well. I'm not being paid to say any of that though.
No.
Yeah, You Should See Me in a Crown is another one of my favorites from that album.
I love this sort of soundscape of that one.
Yeah,
Very
so
deep. I think
that
that's the
song
word.
was also on FIFA 19, which was like, I was playing FIFA 19 and I was like, that's Billie Eilish. What's she doing on FIFA? She's got a song on the latest EA Sports FC 25. I can't remember what song it is, but yeah, and All the Good Girls Go to Hell as well. Another brilliant song, especially when she says even God herself has enemies. Like God is a woman. Yeah, no, it's just a great album all
Yeah.
round.
Brilliant artist.
Yeah, brilliant
Robbed.
artist.
Was
So
robbed last year.
massively. Cowboy Carter, who? I love Beyonce. Thank you, Beyonce. But Billie Eilish should have won Album of the Year.
It was a fantastic.
Out of the shortlist, anyway, there's another
Yeah.
album that I think should have won but wasn't even shortlisted. But hey ho. What's your number 7?
Yes, my number 7 is All Time Low, Wake Up Sunshine,
Banging
released
man.
in 2020. It was released obviously in COVID, about a month after the lockdowns, all that sort of stuff. And it really changed sort of my perspective on like what music is, how to release it, the engagement between an artist and fans.
Yep.
Because they just did everything. They did like a track breakdown. They got them all on a video call, pretty much like this. And then with their producer, Zach Cervini, fantastic producer. If you like all of his works, unreal. Works with Bring Me
Yeah.
the Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
But my sort of 4 tracks off this album, but it's technically only 3 because one's an interlude. So I've got Favorite Place, which features the band Camino. Absolutely gorgeous song. The delay at the start of the song, the guitar is just perfect. Then we've got Basement Noise, which is just if you've been a fan of the band for a while, you'll understand a lot of the references and stuff like that because like they literally talk about their upbringing
Yeah.
as a band starting out. And then we've got one of the most amazing riffs I think I've ever heard in Melancholy Kaleidoscope, which I think I've actually spelled completely wrong in my notes. But I know
Both
what it
words are quite
is.
hard to spell, to be fair.
And then the fourth one, which I mentioned was the interlude, is Pretty Venom. And I cannot skip this. Even if I listen to the album at all, I have to listen to this because it's just the way they sort of talked about it as a band was this is the point where you flip the vinyl over.
Yeah.
So that, and honestly, like just the whole soundscape of this one is again like soundscape to me is a big part of music. Like if there's wee bits ear candy or whatever it is the official
Yeah.
term.
On to number
Yeah.
6. So, my number 6, because that's the number we're on now, apparently. This has gone very quick. After this, after both of our number 6s, we'll get into what happened last time and why we're doing it in this kind of format now as well. But yeah, so in number 6, I've got a classic album. It's also the most popular album from this band, and it's Night at the Opera by Queen. And,
Mm,
obviously it's popular for a reason.
yeah. Good album.
It's an insane album from start to finish. Even their, instrumental version of the national anthem, even though I'm not a fan of the national anthem, their instrumentalized version is banging. Like, with the guitars and everything, it's like, yeah. But my 3 chosen songs from that album are You're My Best Friend, because Shaun of the Dead in it. Love My Life, just because it's such a beautiful song. And then, obviously, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Obviously.
The best... What? I'm going to say it. The best rock song ever written.
It is.
It
Well,
is.
you can't even classify it as just rock, can you?
It's like a rock opera.
It's a multi
Yeah.
genre.
But it'll be classified under rock, so...
Queen are a rock band.
Best rock song. Best song written by a rock band ever. There we go.
They are the greatest rock band.
Yeah.
Their lasting legacy sort of says it all.
Yeah. They're especially, being able to still have the fandom they have with a different singer, with Adam Lambert,
Yeah,
who's a
yeah,
great performer.
yeah. Even like they're so big today that new artists like the likes of Benson Boone are
Mm.
covering their songs at Coachella, and even
Bringing
having
out
Brian
Brian May.
May show
That
up,
was
which is just
insane.
yeah.
So this was, at time of recording, Benson Boone brought out Brian May 2 weeks ago?
something like
Because
that.
last week he brought out the cardboard cutout.
Yeah,
In the cardboard
because
cutout. Did you see that video of the cardboard cutout where it like fell over when he was like, "I don't wanna die," and like the cardboard
no,
cutout just fell?
no, I didn't see that.
Oh no, it wasn't that. It was. So you think you should love me and leave me to
Oh yeah,
die?
yeah,
And then the
yeah.
cardboard cutout just went.
It's probably
It's
because
like,
the guitar after that is just a
yeah.
didn't knocked it
Um,
flying.
yeah, no, being able to bring out Brian May was insane. Do
For
you
a
know? Do you
young,
know like
well,
how that came across?
no,
So Benson was on the plane to get to Coachella, and it just so happened that Brian May was on the same flight as him.
all right,
Because Brian May just went to Coachella just to watch,
yeah,
and Benson just went up to him and was like, "So I'm doing Bohemian Rhapsody. Do you want to come on and do your solo?" And Brian May, being Brian May, went, "Yeah." Like when he came out for My Cam. If you haven't listened to that as well, Welcome to the Black Parade featuring Brian May live performance. Oh, banging, amazing.
here. That's the
Um,
thing. Brian May, he's a doctor. He's a very intelligent man.
very intelligent man.
So he would not just do it for the sake of it.
No.
He
Um,
doesn't even. They could all just retire now and still be known
yeah.
50 years time.
Oh, they'll be known for the end of time.
Oh yeah, Queen are
100%.
still. Queen will be the lasting legacy of music, just music in
Yeah.
general. Because
Same with the
there's,
Beatles.
yeah, their
Like,
songs are timeless.
mhm.
So
Yeah, on to your number 6.
my number six, dramatic. I tried a dramatic change up again from what your number six was. Mine is Stand Atlantic and Pink Elephant,
Ooh, I do like a bit
which,
of Stand Atlantic.
yeah. So I actually got into this band from the previous album, Skinny Dipping and uh, Toothpick. Isn't that the name of it? Don't know.
Can't
Anyways,
remember.
move on. But they started doing the whole promotion for this album, and I was like, oh, again, it was released in 2020. So it was sort of, I think this was before the lockdown. I haven't actually got the month down.
Yeah.
But my sort of top three of this album are Jurassic Park, Hate Me Sometimes, and Like That, which is the album opener. And it's just a fantastic album. And obviously, special mention to Drink the Drown, but I didn't want to include that because it is a very depressing song.
Did you just say Jurassic Park?
I did indeed. Yes, moving on. That band was still fantastic. And then their later albums are even. I actually struggled to pick one,
Yeah.
but Pink Elephant was sort of the one I was like, oh, interesting album name, as always.
Yeah, so this should be a right time to mention this. We had a discussion before, and we decided it's one choice per artist as well.
Yes.
So for some of these, they've been so hard to pick. Like, to be honest, if we didn't do that, 6 of my list would have been 21 Pilots albums. And then
No,
a
10,
further
10
one.
would. 10 would.
Yeah, I would have
You,
found a way to get.
you would have found a
I
way.
would have found a way.
You would have the regular release and then the deluxe edition.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
we recorded a whole episode before,
Yeah.
and it went interestingly. It actually went really well. We
It
rambled
did.
a lot.
There was a lot of rambling, but when
There seems
I got around to editing it, it peaked the whole way through the episode.
yeah, because we were using the podcast studio at the university.
And I don't know what happened because it sounded
No,
fine,
it
like through
sounded
the
fine,
headphones that we were
and
using.
even when we played it back, it sounded fine.
Yeah.
It just must
And
have been the
then-
export.
Yeah. Stuff
But,
happened, so technology.
Oh yeah, here we are, and we're trying this new thing.
Yeah. Um.
But
So I,
I do remember after the initial thing, we went through it and they ended it, and we're like, oh, I don't think we really mentioned a very bad like most of mine were pop punk albums. Like, and then I was like, oh, what about this album? What about this album?
yeah,
No.
we were just like, oh no, there was loads of albums we missed out on as
Yeah,
well. Like we didn't really give it enough time to think of it. So
but
it's kind
I
of
thought,
helped now that we've taken a
yeah,
bit of a step back from it to fully create a good list.
yes, and I'm actually quite happy with mine now.
Yeah, nah, I am very much so. Because we're about halfway through now. Do you want a chance to talk about your two new exciting adventures, Amplify Across and Rough Draft
Rough Draft Media Group.
Media Group? Yeah,
Yes. So basically, Rough Draft Media Group is the overall name, which includes Amplify Across.
right.
So it's like Amplify Across is a bit underneath, which is purely aimed at sort of just promoting arts in general and creatives and content creators through possibly using a thing called Substack, which honestly I'm still learning with. I'm still trying to figure out stuff,
Yeah,
but it's good fun, and the whole point is that everyone has fun doing it. The whole rough draft thing is like, if it's rough, oh well. If you're having fun doing it and people are enjoying it, keep going, sort of thing. There's no point in stressing over the finer details.
yeah, no, definitely. I think that's like it's a really cool thing that you're doing there. Um, because it's really hard to get into media industries,
Yeah,
well,
so
creative industries in general.
yeah, so this sort of would be my way of trying to bring people together to almost build forwards. So I sort of, when I sort of think about it, I sort of think about like the likes of ILM and starting, where they're literally coming in being like, oh, we don't know how to do this. Let's figure it out.
Yeah,
Like, that whole mentality is what I sort of am moving with, which is
yeah,
just, it's good fun.
it's really
Like,
cool as well.
it's absolutely all over the place at the minute. There's content maybe for 3 weeks in a row, and then for like a month there's nothing, because I'm like, I've started trying to figure out a new way of doing something that's just
Yeah, which
all over the
that
place.
happens at the start of everything, doesn't it? It's
Yeah,
like you're
I
just
think it's
cutting
just,
down to the finer details of everything. It's
yeah, because you'll always do. You'll start it and thinking, nope, it's perfect, and then you'll start doing it and be like, no, I don't like this. This could be better.
hence the podcast.
Hence the podcast.
Hence the change in the theme of the podcast
Yeah,
to this. And to
I
be
think it's
fair,
all good.
I'm much preferring the podcast in this sort of setting.
Oh yeah, it's so much more comfortable.
It is. Um, yes, I think from now on, this is how the podcasts are going to be.
Through Amplify Across, I have I did like a thing when I used to be at the uni radio called Screen Sessions, which I created, which is basically video interviews like this, which I ripped off Rock Sound to do it. Like, I'm not ashamed. I completely was like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that. And I interviewed a band in Canada,
All right.
because the really good band, Small Walk to Pluto. Or is it Small Walk? Yeah, it is a Small Walk to Pluto,
No, it's not.
I
It's
think.
quite far to Pluto.
No, it's not a planet, so you can just get there anytime you want.
Oh, true.
Don't have to
Screw
pay
you,
for those
Neil deGrasse
space travel.
Tyson. Pluto exists.
We love Pluto.
We love Pluto.
Thank you for that opportunity to speak.
No worries.
Shall we
Definitely.
move on to number 5?
After I said this next bit,
Okay. Okay.
definitely go check out Rough Draft Media Group and Amplify Across.
Which I'm sure you'll link in any of the descriptions or all that sort of stuff once this is
Yes,
published.
definitely. But to number 5, and because we're like halfway through done, we'll switch it up a little bit. You go first.
Oh, I'll go first.
You
Okay.
go first.
So my number 5 is very sort of like relevant right now, because it's As It Is, Never Happy Ever After, which they've just done a complete re-record, re-release
All right.
in the last couple of, literally about a week ago now. It is a week ago, actually. They dropped it a week ago, where that brought in like either upcoming artists or inspirations or ones they sort of grew up or come up with as a band like around the time of never happy ever after. It's a mouthful and a half,
So
but it's just the most incredible album.
did you say
And
they've added like up and coming artists to the
yeah,
songs?
yeah. What do you call it? On one of the songs, "No Offense" features,
All right, yeah,
and then a band called Ardeo, which I had the pleasure of actually meeting when they played Make a Scene Festival 2022.
nice.
Brilliant band. Really, they're on a song called "Turn Back to Me," or yeah, "Turn Back to Me," which is actually one of my top three of this, because when I'm saying this one, it's both the original and the re-record,
So
because
is this re-record a little bit like what Busted did
yeah,
2023 when they
pretty
just
much.
did a greatest hits album with loads of other bands on it, but
Yeah,
not a
pretty
greatest
much.
hits? It's yeah.
But this is just like the same album, basically re-recorded, which the band produced it themselves, did it all themselves. Which, because as it is split up and then got back together, and
Yeah.
then they're now back. But my sort of number one off this album is "Cheap Shots and Setbacks," which features Rome and what was the other band? What was the other band? I'm trying to think now. "Cheap Shots and Setbacks." Mallory Knox. Sorry, I couldn't think there. So it's "Cheap Shots and Setbacks" with "As It Is" featuring Rome, who've split, and Mallory Knox, which
Is that
all
Rome
three.
spelled ROAM?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah.
They're absolutely fantastic, and I actually got on the split,
Mm.
but they're sort of very much along the same thing, and the whole thing, the music video is just incredible because it's like clips cut together of like "As It Is," Mallory Knox, and Rome over the years since that album sort of released, and it's just fantastic. And then "Speak Soft," which is the album opener, which featured Kellen Quinn from Sleeping with Sirens. It is an absolutely incredible song, and
So
like I thoroughly recommend listening to the original and then the re-records. You're number five after that.
yeah, um, this is it's an album that I've listened to from its release, because my mum loved this album a lot when I was a kid. And it is Costello Music by the Fratellis. It's their debut album. Um, Great album. It's got Chelsea Dagger on it, which everyone knows.
Everyone
Everyone
knows.
knows that song. Um, but a couple of my other favourite songs from it are Baby Fratelli, which is featured in Hot Fuzz,
Oh
which
yeah.
is one of my favourite films of all time.
Cornetto
Um,
trilogy is god tier.
mhm. And Creeping Up the Backstairs is my favourite song from that album. Um, tried singing it a couple of times, but it's a very fast song. um, but yeah, I just remember listening to it a lot as a child because my mum would just always put it on in the car.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I remember we used to call Henrietta um Shaun the Sheep song because of like that. Wah, 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 wah. We just always call it like the Shaun the Sheep song. I don't know why, but yeah,
Yeah,
so I have a very special
it's
connection
funny.
to that album.
This is a good album. It's not not one I'd listen to often, but it's good.
On to your number four.
So my number four is Imagine Dragons Night Visions, which
Ooh.
I do like. Some of their later albums that I like more, but Night Visions will always be sort of the start,
Yeah,
because tracks like my top three tracks are "Round and Round," "Cha-Ching," and "It's Time," because "It's Time" is sort of the popular one, but I remember I saw them live in 2014, and it was just after the Paris attacks,
yeah,
and Dan Reynolds, doing as he always does, did a fantastic speech that I'll never forget. Just like, as sort of "It's Time" sort of started slowly, and then he sang it really slowly at the first sort of verse, and then it kicked in, and I was just like, me at what age was I? I was like 12. There was like one of the
when
yeah, I
did
was
that
12.
album come out?
2012. So I saw them 2 years later after it came out, and then they released their next album the year after,
Yeah,
which I think is more my favorite. album, but Night Vision sort of the album I'll always go back to.
It's weird to think that album is now a teenager.
Yeah,
Like, what?
I know. I love all their earlier recordings too. I don't know if you've heard any of their EPs.
Yeah, I've heard of a couple, yeah.
That's fantastic. They will always be like my sort of the band I'll always go back to,
Hmm.
no matter what sort of music I'm into at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my number four. I don't have much more to say about that. What is
Um,
your number four?
so my number 4 is American Idiot by Green Day.
Class album.
Amazing album. Again, it's popular for a reason.
Yeah,
You know, like a
it
lot
is.
of people will try and gatekeep Green Day, and they'll be like, "Oh, if American Idiot's your favorite album by him, you're not a real fan." Shut up.
Yeah,
It's popular for a reason.
it's probably a reason because it's good.
Yeah.
Green Day were sort of at a down point in their career and turned around and came out with American Idiot, which
Hmm.
launched them again.
Yeah. They just came back,
Yeah,
and
like
I just love Green Day so much as well. Their constant activism. They never shut up about
yeah,
like real world politics. So my favorite songs from that one are I've got 4, but technically it's 3. So Wake Me Up When September Ends.
mm-hmm.
Obviously American Idiot and Holiday, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, which is technically 2 songs, but it's one. Let's be real, it's one song.
It's one song.
It's one song. Yeah, it's just such a great album. I mean, it has like a 9-minute song in it. Jesus is Suburbia. It's a brilliant album. Um, yeah, should we go on to number 3 now?
Yeah, I think my number three. Where's my number three? My number three is Fall Out Boys. Save rock and roll.
Well,
What are you laughing at now?
we both have a Fall Out Boy album at number 3. It's not the same one, but
No.
it's still
Okay.
Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, because yeah. So Save rock and roll, fantastic album. I'll never stop listening to it. It's songs like Where Did the Party Go, Death Valley, and Missing You. That whole Youngblood Chronicles thing, where they'd made a story basically out of all their music videos for that album, was just that based again changed my perspective on music and how it's connected with everything else, how it can be enjoyed all over like in a range of different formats, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's just Fall Out Boy is one of those bands that I'm just like always. So, what about your number three? Which album did you pick?
So I chose the next Fall Out Boy album, the one that came after Save Rock and Roll. I went with American Beauty, American Psycho.
Unreal album.
It's the album that really like fully got me into them. Like I already liked Thanks for the Memories and yeah,
Sugar, we're going down.
Sugar We're Going Down, Dance Dance. So like I already liked quite a few of their songs, but American Beauty, American Psycho was the first album of Fall Out Boy that actually got me going. Like, okay,
Yeah, again, that album changed my perspective on music
yeah,
because they were having like rock guitars in the background with synths, and I was
yeah,
just like, that was a genreless album, I'd say.
yeah. And as we mentioned earlier, if you confuse genres, you're a peak musician.
Yeah,
Um, my favorite songs from the album, Centuries,
obviously.
Uma Thurman, which Brendan Urie features in the music video of,
Yeah,
and American Beauty, American Psycho, the titular song. Also, just all 3 just great songs, but that it was quite hard to choose 3 from that album.
Oh, like
Because,
I can even think of three different songs right now that I would
yeah,
have.
but I'd really had to think on that one. Like,
Oh,
what are my three favorites from that album? Yeah, they're the
it
biggest three from that album, but
brilliant album though.
again, they're the biggest three for a reason,
Yeah.
you know. And that can't be said for every single song that's popular from a band. Take High Hopes from Panic at the Disco.
Hmm.
That's not a that's not even the strongest song on that album, let
No,
alone like
Dying in LA.
oh. See, for me, it's like solely basing it off singles that were released from that album.
Okay.
I think Say Amen, Saturday Night should have got the hype and the fame that High Hopes did.
Yeah. High Hopes was really poppy though. That was the issue.
Yeah. Um.
But
But yeah.
we're talking about an album that's not even on our lists.
Yep.
So, shall we go? Is this my number?
You're number two now.
Yes, my number two,
Yep.
which is Neck Deep, Peace in the Panic,
Ooh.
2017, I think. Which is just when this came out, I was just mind blown because I was sort of I really like Neck Deep already a wee bit. I knew some of their sort of songs when they come out, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then this album came out, and I was just like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
And like, they're still one of my favorite artists. So my top three are Critical Mistake. I think it's a funny song. Happy Judgment Day, which is just yeah, it's sort of it says it all. It is literally just a very a commentary and social whatever it is at
Yeah.
the minute. And then Don't Wait, which again is like a social commentary, I think is it.
Yeah.
And it actually features Sam from Architects,
All right.
which got me into Architects actually, which is another one. I should have had this on the album somewhere, on the thing somewhere, but they're just fantastic. For those who wish to exist,
Yeah.
God's here. So what is your number two?
So my number two is a bit of a wild card entry because
So
obviously
your
we
number
said
two. So your number two is your wild card and your two.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
So obviously we said one per artist.
Yes.
So I'm taking the liberty here
Okay.
to separate a single member from a band as a separate artist. So I've gone with No Fun Intended by Tyler Joseph. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Could have expected that.
If you know me, you'll know how much I love 21 Pilots. Um,
Rightfully so.
yeah,
Brilliant band.
brilliant band. But this album itself is such a great album as well. The three songs, again, really hard for me to choose the songs from this album to be on there. But I've gone with Drown, Blasphemy, and Save. And they're just all brilliant songs. Like Save is... I don't really know how to describe it, because the genre shift in that one song alone is insane. Because
Oh
it
yeah.
starts off with just like simple just piano and vocals, and then it just snaps into like this proper like desperate screamo music, and then straight away goes back into just the stripped back piano music. And Tyler's way of being able to do that is insane. It's not
Oh
the
yeah.
only album that he's done that on. He does it
No,
on
no.
so many different songs, so many different albums, but Save itself is just, it's such a beautifully depressing song as
Oh
well.
yeah. Which they do very well.
They do. So, honourable mentions. I've not actually written anything down for this, so this could be a bit rambly, but we'll try and keep it concise.
I'll keep it concise.
just hold out for our number ones, guys. Hold out. You know, we'll get there, but you got to do honorable mentions.
Gotta do it.
Um, so one that was insanely close to getting in for me, um, came out 2 years ago now. Um, a lot of people think it came out last year, but it did in fact come out 2 years ago.
I know where this is going.
The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess, Chapel Roan.
Chop around.
Such a good album.
It is a good album.
Um, it's it rose her to fame, and rightfully so. Um, again, she's a big activist, calls out a lot of social issues. Um, and yeah, she's done amazing things
Oh yeah.
with her
No,
music and outside of her music as well. Like her, was it Oscar? No, it was either an Oscar or not an Oscar. That's the acting one.
the
It was it the
Grammys.
Grammy? She won one, and she did this amazing speech about how hard it is to actually make money in the music
I think so.
industry, and how like record labels should provide health insurance
Yeah,
and stuff like that for artists, which is true. Like, especially up and coming artists, they shouldn't have to pay out of pocket for stuff like that.
yeah.
You know, when a lot of other jobs, your employer pays your health insurance. Yeah, like
Oh
other
yeah,
jobs that you have to travel a lot with. Anyway, your employer pays your travel insurance. So why should the music industry be any different?
yeah. I know. To be fair, that album was close to coming to mind, but I was like, it didn't fit with any of mine at all, and I was like,
Yeah.
nah.
Um.
But do you have any more honorable mentions, or is this
I'll hand
just
it over to you.
so? My next my honorable mention is plus four fours when your heart stops beating, which honestly was just like I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. Like life changing when I listened to it. Like that's the easiest way because it's just like I understand music a lot more. I
Yeah.
understand sort of how I would. It's like it has shaped my musical style. It's just fantastic album. Like tracks like Chapter 13, Weatherman 155, I think, because it's just wow.
Yeah.
Really fantastic album that I really would recommend anyone to listen to it. Which, funny enough, ties into my number one.
Does it? Well,
Does indeed.
we'll have a couple of more honorable
Yeah, a couple
mentions,
more honorable mentions.
and then we'll go on to your number one. So
Sweet.
another honorable mention from me is "The Click" by AJR. It was actually in my original list when we recorded it the first time, but I remembered about "Call to the Void." Well, not remembered about "Call to the Void," but I like kind of took a step back from the original list, and I was like, "Well, there's some things that do need to be changed here." Um, but "The Click" is just a great album. Um, especially there's a deluxe version of it,
Yeah.
which has like 3 extra songs. Those songs are also brilliant. Um, yeah, I definitely suggest anyone who hasn't listened to it go listen to The Click. If you're gonna listen to any AJR album, make it be The Click. Um, Neo Theatre is also really good, which was the one after, I think. But The
Oh,
Click, great album. Do you have any more honorable mentions?
For Those That Wish to Exist by Architects. I discovered it in 2020. Well, no, was it 2020? No, it would have been 2020, 2021. Whenever it was released. I can't even think now. But like, I listened to that when studying for my A levels, and then obviously I didn't end up doing exams, but still,
Yeah,
like study sessions, I would be listening to them nonstop because it was just incredible. Like it again pushed even my like genre even further for me. I was like, oh, You've a synth lead and like a heavy rock song. Cool. Have
Yeah.
you any more honorable mentions?
Um, I think we should just get into our number ones now.
My number one, which if you know me, no one's gonna sort of be surprised at this, is Blink-182 self-titled. Which even the last time this was my number, sort of my last one, number one, because it is like one of the most incredible pieces of work that I've ever heard. It is art, like just like Mark Hoppus is the reason I started learning how to play a bass.
Yeah.
And hearing this album, and like they did a documentary of the whole process, which if I'm hitting a brick wall, a creative sort of like writer's block or whatever it is, I'll go and watch that because they'll say something or do like, oh, should we try this? And I'll go like, oh, I'll try that, and there we go. Like it's sort of solved, but that as a whole piece of work is just it'll forever be my sort of number one because it's just like I can never escape it. I'll always go back to it. And recently, actually, Mark Hoppus released his autobiography,
Oh.
which I sat and listened to for 7 hours because it's an audiobook, which was really fantastic sort of stuff. But it's just one of those bands where I always have an emotional tie to.
Yeah. See, my number
Mhm.
one is
Mhm.
one band that I'll always have an emotional tie to. I've talked about them a couple of times already.
Yep.
They're also right there.
Oh yeah.
um, yeah,
No,
so
who could have guessed?
my number one is Trench by 21 Pilots. Um, amazing, amazing album.
Really fantastic
I
album.
think it is. It's not my favorite of their albums, but I think it is the best of their albums, if that makes sense. I think production wise and everything, it's the best of their albums, but not necessarily my favorite of their albums. But it means a lot to me as well, which is why I've got it in this list.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
every single 21 Pilots album has helped me out at some point. Most of all, Trench. But yeah, it's such a good album, full
I
of.
still think I think Scale and Icy's better.
I love Scaled and Icy. I do,
Although
and I've always,
their latest
always
one, their latest one
Chansey.
again.
It just gets better. It just gets
Yeah,
better and better.
it's one of those artists where I'm like, they're constantly reinventing themselves. I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
okay.
And like the storyline they've got going on as
Mm-hmm.
well.
It's crazy. Was it
Um,
what do you call it? Not overpass. It's not overpass graffiti. That's a different band.
overcompensate.
No, next semester. That's the one I'm thinking of. Well, that's like it was stuck in my head for weeks and I could not escape it.
It probably
But
didn't help that I kept on playing it on the ukulele and sending it to you.
yes,
That
that
probably.
helps.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Or
um,
every time at an open mic that I worked every week, you'd either play it on Spotify or
or
you
play
would
it on
play
the
it.
ukulele.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But my top three picks from Trench are Jumpsuit, which is
June.
one of the biggest songs from that album anyway, but
It's the first
uh,
one, wasn't it?
yes, it was the first. It's the opening song on the album. It was the first single from the album. It was Nico and the Niners. Great song as well. Such a good, such a great music video as well.
Yeah.
That music video, like all of the music videos are insane, but the Nico and the Niners music video, especially how it leads into Levitate.
Oh, even how is it the song of that leads directly into
Yeah,
Levitate?
yeah. And my third pick is Neon Gravestones, which it's this song on the album that means the most to me. Um, just because it was like I was already into 21 Pilots. Like when Blurryface came out, that's what got me into 21 Pilots. But I didn't really explore until about 2019, which was just after Trench came out. And it was just before my nana passed. I listened to Neon Gravestones, and the ending lyrics are find your grandparents as someone of age, pay some respect to the path that they paved, to life they were dedicated. Now that should be celebrated. I just broke down. I like,
I'm saying it's
it
music.
was,
Music might not have been written for like the purpose that you're connecting to,
yeah,
but it often has that ability.
yeah, and it like so that really helped me fully connect.
Oh yeah,
There's also another song on there that like made me break down a little bit as well because there's a song called Legend, which Tyler wrote about his granddad passing and like the lead up to his granddad passing, and it was just that song means a lot to me as well because of
oh
when I
yeah.
started listening to that album. Um, but yeah, sorry that was a bit of a bummer to end it on. um, but again, it's a great album. It's not all sadness. It's
Oh,
there are some very happy songs in that
I
album as
get
well.
one of the ones that you need to watch the music videos
Yeah,
for.
definitely.
Brilliant album for that.
Yes. I mean, you need to watch all the music videos. Let's be real, especially the ones in
Yeah,
the Clancy storyline. Like,
yeah. Which my head's fried from that. I need to go and look at it again.
yeah. Um, but anyway, I think that's it.
I hope that's it. I have work in half an hour.
um, but anyway, yeah. Thank you for coming on, Adam. Thank you for coming
Yeah, it's been
again.
great.
Um, I've had a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
I think this way of doing the podcast, this format, is going to be the way going onwards.
If you want
Because
to get me on again for anything else, let me know.
I will do. But yeah, thank you for coming on. I'll put the links to Adam's projects down below in the description, so go check them out. Please follow the podcast. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Like it, share it with your friends. I'll also put the links to my Instagram and my Letterboxd in the description as well. So if you want to go check those out, please do give those a follow. I'll put Adam's links for socials in the comments as well, if Adam wants me to.
Yeah, that's cool with me.
Yeah, sound. But thank you for listening. I'll see you later.
Peace.